God told me to warn you. Your partner is falling hard for you, but stop doing this. My beloved child, something in your life is quietly changing, and you can feel it even if you have not found the words yet. There is a subtle shift in the way someone looks at you, in the way their energy lingers when you are near, and in the silence between your conversations that suddenly feels deeper than before. This is not random, and it is not something you imagined. Stay with this, because there is something important here that your heart has already started to notice before your mind could understand it. You may not realize it yet, but your partner is beginning to feel something stronger than they expected, something that is growing beyond simple affection into a deeper emotional connection. It is not loud or obvious, it is quiet, almost hidden beneath everyday moments, but it is real and it is becoming stronger with time. They are trying to understand it themselves, trying to make sense of why your presence feels different now, why your words stay with them longer, and why your absence feels heavier than before. This kind of feeling does not appear suddenly without reason. It grows where there is sincerity, and it grows where something genuine has been built between two souls. But at the same time, there is a small pattern in your behavior that is slowing this connection down, not because you intend to, but because you have been protecting yourself in ways that made sense before. You have learned to hold back, to not fully express, to keep certain emotions hidden so you do not feel exposed or vulnerable. That part of you was created from past experiences, from moments where you gave too much and did not receive the same in return. So now you hesitate without even realizing it. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where your awareness begins to matter more than ever. The truth is, while they are moving closer emotionally, you are sometimes stepping back without noticing it, and this creates a quiet imbalance that neither of you fully understands yet. They feel drawn to you, but at times they also feel a distance they cannot explain, and that distance comes from the walls you have built to protect your heart. This is not a mistake, and it does not mean anything is wrong with you. It simply means there is something within you that is ready to be seen and gently released, so this connection can grow the way it is meant to. There is a quiet moment you may not have noticed, where their feelings began to shift from something light into something that carries meaning. And it happened not through big gestures, but through the small, consistent presence you bring into their life. The way you listen, the way you respond, even the way you exist around them has created a sense of comfort they did not expect to find so easily. Stay with this, because there is something important here, something that explains why their heart is slowly opening in a way that feels unfamiliar even to them. As their emotions deepen, they are becoming more attentive to the little things about you, the pauses in your voice, the way you sometimes withdraw when things start to feel real, and the moments when you choose silence instead of honesty. They are not judging you for this, but they are trying to understand it, trying to find clarity in something that feels both close and distant at the same time. This is where the connection becomes delicate, because while their feelings are growing stronger, they are also becoming more sensitive to how you respond to that closeness. What you may not realize is that your habit of holding back, of not fully expressing what you feel in the moment, is creating confusion where there could be clarity. It is not about saying everything perfectly or revealing everything at once. It is about allowing your emotions to exist openly instead of filtering them through fear or doubt. Don't miss what comes next, because this is the turning point where a small shift in your awareness can change the entire direction of this connection without forcing anything unnatural. Your partner is not looking for perfection. They are looking for presence, for authenticity, for a sense that what they feel is not one-sided or uncertain. When you pull back emotionally, even slightly, it creates a space where they begin to question what they are feeling. Not because their feelings are weak, but because they are unsure if they are fully welcomed. This is the moment where your quiet choices matter the most, because even the smallest openness from you can reassure them in ways that words alone cannot explain. Something within you already knows the exact moments when you pull away, even if you do it so gently that no one else can clearly see it. It happens in the pauses, in the half-held words, in the way you sometimes choose to stay neutral instead of letting your real feelings come forward. This is not something to judge yourself for. It is something to understand, because it has been your way of staying safe for a long time. Stay with this because there is something important here, something that shows you are closer to change than you think. Your partner, without saying it directly, is beginning to feel both drawn and uncertain at the same time. They feel the warmth you carry, the sincerity in your presence, and the calm connection that forms when you are fully there. But they also notice when that openness fades without explanation. It leaves them wondering if they are reading things correctly, if the connection is truly mutual, or if they are feeling more than they should. This quiet questioning is not because they doubt you, it is because they are trying to protect their own heart while it continues to open toward you. There is a small but powerful shift that can happen here, and it does not require you to become someone different or to suddenly express everything perfectly. It simply asks you to stop holding back the natural response your heart already wants to give in those genuine moments. When you feel appreciation, let it show. When you feel connected, allow it to be visible in your words and actions. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where the connection begins to feel real, not just to you, but to them as well. Right now, the connection is standing at a delicate point where it can either grow into something deeply meaningful or remain in a space of quiet uncertainty. Your partner is ready to move forward emotionally, but they are waiting for a signal that tells them it is safe to do so. That signal does not come from grand gestures. It comes from your consistency, your honesty, and your willingness to be present without stepping back when things begin to feel real. There is a gentle truth rising within this connection, and it is asking you to notice how powerful your smallest actions have become. The way you respond, the way you show up, even the way you choose to stay or withdraw in certain moments is now being felt more deeply than before. This is not pressure. It is simply the natural progression of something meaningful forming between two people. Stay with this, because there is something important here that can either bring you closer together or quietly keep you apart without either of you fully understanding why. Your partner is beginning to lean into what they feel, even if they have not fully expressed it yet, and that leaning requires a sense of emotional safety. They are not expecting perfection from you. They are not measuring your words or looking for flawless communication. They are simply looking for a sense of steadiness that tells them they are not alone in what is growing. When you hesitate or hold back in moments that call for honesty, it creates a small gap that feels larger to them than it actually is. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where your awareness can transform that gap into something meaningful and reassuring. The pattern you are being asked to gently release is not your need for space or your individuality. It is the instinct to retreat emotionally right when the connection begins to deepen. That instinct once protected you, but now it is creating confusion where there could be clarity and warmth. You do not need to force yourself to open completely all at once, but you do need to stop silencing the genuine responses your heart naturally wants to express. Even a simple acknowledgement, a sincere word, or a moment of presence can shift the entire energy between you in a positive way. What is unfolding between you and your partner is not fragile, but it is responsive, meaning it grows based on how you both show up for it. They are already moving closer, feeling more, and allowing themselves to care in a deeper way. And now this connection is quietly inviting you to meet them there with the same openness. When you begin to trust that it is safe to be seen as you are, without overthinking or holding back, you will notice that the distance disappears and is replaced with a sense of calm closeness that feels natural and steady. There is a quiet realization forming now, one that does not rush you or pressure you, but gently invites you to see what has been right in front of you this entire time. The connection you share is not uncertain. It has simply been waiting for both of you to meet it with the same level of openness. Your partner has already begun to step into that space, even if slowly, and now everything is aligning for you to recognize your own role in shaping what comes next. Stay with this, because there is something important here that brings clarity without overwhelming you. What they feel for you is steady, not rushed, not forced, but real, in a way that continues to grow with each passing moment you spend together. They are not expecting you to suddenly change or to become more expressive than you naturally are. They are simply hoping to feel that what they are giving is being received fully. When your responses carry warmth and presence, even in small ways, it reassures them more than you might realize. It tells them that this connection is shared, that it is not something they are experiencing alone. The change being asked of you is not about doing more, it is about holding back less. It is about allowing your natural reactions, your genuine feelings, and your quiet affection to be seen without filtering them through hesitation. You do not need to calculate every word or analyze every moment because the connection itself already understands you in a deeper way. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where everything begins to feel lighter, more natural, and more aligned with what you have been quietly hoping for. When you begin to trust your own emotional expression, even in its simplest form, you will notice that your partner responds with even greater clarity and warmth. The distance you once felt starts to dissolve, replaced by a steady sense of closeness that does not feel overwhelming or uncertain. This is not about changing who you are, it is about allowing who you already are to be seen without hesitation, and in that space, the connection becomes something calm, mutual, and deeply fulfilling for both of you. There is a calm sense of completion beginning to settle over this connection, not as an ending, but as a deeper understanding of what has been unfolding between you both all along. You are not being asked to become someone new, only to return to the most honest version of yourself that does not hide when something real begins to grow. This awareness is gentle. It does not rush you. It simply reminds you that the love forming around you responds to truth more than perfection. Stay with this, because there is something important here that brings everything into balance. Your partner's feelings have not appeared by chance. They have developed because of the authenticity they sense in you, even in the moments when you were not fully aware of it. What draws them closer is not only what you say or do, but the quiet energy you carry, the sincerity that exists beneath your words. When you allow that sincerity to come forward without hesitation, you create a space where they feel safe to express their own emotions more openly, without second-guessing what they feel or where they stand with you. The one thing you are being asked to release now is the unnecessary pause between what you feel and what you allow yourself to show. That pause, even when small, creates distance that does not need to exist. When you begin to trust that your natural response is enough, that your presence is already meaningful, you remove that distance without effort. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where everything becomes simple, where connection flows without confusion and without the weight of overthinking. In this space of quiet clarity, you will begin to notice that the connection feels steady and peaceful, not uncertain or complicated. Your partner no longer feels like they are reaching towards something unclear, and you no longer feel the need to protect yourself in the same way you once did. What remains is something genuine, something balanced, and something that grows naturally because both of you are finally meeting each other without holding back. This is where the connection finds its true rhythm, calm, mutual, and deeply understood. There is a quiet stillness now, the kind that comes when everything begins to make sense without needing to force any answers. You may notice that your thoughts feel clearer, your emotions feel more grounded, and the connection no longer feels like something you have to figure out, but something you can simply experience. This is where everything gently settles into place, not through effort, but through awareness. Stay with this, because there is something important here that shows you how far you have already come. Your partner can feel this shift in you, even if it is subtle, even if it is something you cannot fully explain yet. They notice the way you respond with more ease, the way your presence feels more open, and the way your energy no longer pulls away when things begin to feel real. This creates a sense of calm reassurance within them, a feeling that what they have been building emotionally is now being met with the same quiet sincerity. It allows them to relax into their feelings instead of questioning them, and that changes everything between you. What you once saw as vulnerability is now revealing itself as strength, not because it makes you exposed, but because it allows something genuine to grow without resistance. You are no longer standing at a distance from your own emotions. You are allowing them to exist naturally without interruption. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where the connection becomes effortless, where you no longer feel the need to protect something that is already safe to experience. This is not a moment of intensity or overwhelming emotion. It is something far more meaningful, a steady, peaceful connection that feels right without needing to prove itself. You and your partner are no longer moving in uncertainty. You are moving together in understanding, in a space where both of you feel seen without pressure. This is where the connection continues to grow, not through force or urgency, but through a calm, mutual presence that feels natural and complete. There is a quiet sense of peace surrounding you now, the kind that does not come from outside validation, but from within your own understanding of what this connection truly is. You're no longer trying to decode every moment or question every feeling, because something inside you has settled into trust. What once felt uncertain now feels clear, not because everything has been explained, but because you have allowed yourself to see it without fear. Stay with this, because there is something important here that gently brings everything to completion. Your partner feels this calm shift just as deeply, and it allows them to fully embrace what they feel without hesitation. There is no longer a sense of guessing or holding back on their side, because your presence now carries a quiet assurance that was missing before. It is not about grand expressions or dramatic changes. It is about the consistency of your energy, the honesty in your responses, and the openness that now flows naturally between you. This is what transforms a connection from something uncertain into something meaningful and lasting. What you chose to release along the way was not just a habit, it was a barrier that once protected you, but no longer needed to stay. In letting go of that hesitation, you allowed something real to take its place, something that does not rely on control or overthinking. Don't miss what comes next, because this is where you recognize that nothing needed to be forced, nothing needed to be chased. Everything simply needed space to grow in its own time. Now, what remains is something calm, balanced, and deeply understood by both of you, a connection that feels natural instead of complicated. You are no longer standing on opposite sides trying to understand each other. You are standing together in a shared awareness that feels steady and genuine. This is where clarity lives, not in loud moments, but in quiet certainty, where both of you can simply be present, knowing that what is between you is real, and it is enough.